Alright, guys, so I don't know what's wrong with me. I went like 2 weeks without doing one of these films, and now, like, the last 3 nights, or evenings, or whatever, it's like it's starting to become an addiction, and I'm afraid. Help. Like, I think, like, I might be into just, like, pleasure from pain from watching terrible movies. And if that's the case, I should go back and watch Hellraiser 1, 2, and then continue on watching that whole series that I never got into. Because if that's the case, that might work for me now. But I said, let's see if Puppet Master Axis of Evil, the next one, is on Full Moon's channel on Amazon Prime, which it was not. And then I kind of felt relieved, and I said, all right, great. Then I'm not watching it. And then I said, well, let me check Tubi because I know they had the first five and random ones after that, and they have it. So I'm going to be watching Puppet Master Axis of Evil, which weirdly, I don't know if this is just a spelling error on Tubi, but Puppet Master is one word in this. It's never been one word. It's always been Puppet, space, capital M, Master. Like, always been that way. So I'm sure they just messed it up. It's directed by the same dude who's directed so many of these under different names and shit. Even if it says, like, it's a film by David DiCatoya, whatever the hell you say his name. The director name is still different, even though he directed it. So, let's watch the 10th Puppet Master film, or ninth Puppet Master film, right? The 10th is next, Axis Rising or something. So the ninth one in this franchise from 2010. So I know the clip show one, the last movie, The Legacy, was from 2003. So that it had a nice 7 years of death before somebody thought it was a good idea to rejuvenate life into this franchise. So let's watch Puppet Master Axis of Evil from 2010 and just hate myself afterwards. Now, if you've been following these videos, you know that I don't care for the whole World War II aspect and part of this story of the whole saga of Andre Toulon. And I know the description flat out just started with at the height of World War II, so I don't have high hopes at all for this movie. Alright, so we're back here at the Bodega Bay Inn, or motel? Yeah, inn. In 1939. So, hell if I know where this takes place in between all the other prequels and shit. It takes place in 1939. Isn't that right around when Toulon shot himself in the first movie? It was like the late 30s, but then like in the prequel of retcon that, and it was like 41 that it actually happened, even though they put 30 something at the end, at the beginning of the first movie. I don't know. So there's some young guy here, and he's building chairs out of wood for this older guy. I'll report on with more. That's all I have right now. And again, no Puppet Master main theme at the beginning here. So if I don't get it during the credits, just like the last two movies, I'm gonna be very fucking pissed. Great. So it's another part clip show. Like we see the kid Danny. It mentions Toulon and says that he was almost killed in Germany during the war and everything that's still going on because he put on a puppet show that was making fun of Hitler, which is everything we saw in the third movie. And then we cut to the opening of the very first Puppet Master leading up to his suicide. And like it literally shows like the first like 4 minutes of it. So we got to sit through that again. At least it's the first movie and it's not like one of the last few because I really like the first movie. So at least I could watch that. Like if they started showing like clips again of the last movie of Retro Puppet Master or Curse of the Puppet Master, any of those, this would be much shorter than it's going to be. Alright, so watching the whole opening of the first Puppet Master again, I don't know how I didn't mention this shit in the first video. How I keep mentioning in multiple of these movies how big these puppets actually are when they show people holding them, and that no one notices when they're just walking around freely. Like, nobody looks down and sees these puppets moving. But in the first movie, apparently I missed this, Blade goes through the whole like lobby and everything. There's so many people there, so there's no excuse for that. But and of course these are stupid movies, but I can't help it. This is how I watch movies. But when he finally gets upstairs, Blade, he's this woman in the hallway. It's just the two of them, Blade and the woman, and she sees him, and he's just kind of like ah, and like she starts screaming and shit. So someone has seen them, like moving around. This one woman doesn't make up for all the other times, but at least they do show it, and I wish I would have remembered that. But it really doesn't make a difference because there's no way that these puppets walk around without anybody seeing them. Yeah, so this whole thing with Danny, the young kid here, who's making chairs for some reason, and said that Toulon might share his knowledge of how he makes the puppets move without strings with him one day. This is all taking place a few minutes, a matter of minutes before Toulon actually shoots himself, and that's why we see the repeat footage from the beginning of the first movie. And then right after that, this kid Danny comes in and finds Toulon with his head blown off. And then, I guess Toulon must have told him the hiding place, because he just goes right to that panel on the wall and pulls it off and takes the trunk with the puppets out. So he must have known. So now this might answer a question that I've been fucking asking for videos on past 4 or 5 movies or so. Where is Six Shooter when he's in the prequels, but he was never in the first one? Aside from the fact, obviously, that they didn't think of Six Shooter as a puppet idea yet, and they put it in the second movie. But you guys know how I am with continuity and stuff. It just drives me nuts. So, like, if they could somehow explain, somehow, in any way, shape, or form, that Six Shooter was here during the events, before the events of the first movie, and for some reason just didn't partake in the festivities that happened on that day, I'll be happy. But I know I'm not going to get an answer to it. So this whole thing has just been a waste of time. And I keep talking about Six Shooter because this is how much I fucking love Six Shooter. About 5/6 the full amount, because he's missing a gun. I don't know where it went, and so I love him a little bit less, because I should have shown him respect and kept an eye out for all his weapons. But I want to see it. And credits, no fucking Puppet Master theme again. Did they just like forget how amazing that theme is? And like as the movies got worse, they just said, let's just take anything good out of these because we don't want people to like these movies at all. It seems like that. Because for the last 3 movies, we have not had the iconic Puppet Master main score, which I'm so sad about, man. It's really hurt. As usual with these things, spoke too soon. The credits score is the main theme, but it's like very differently arranged. So like, it's there, but it's not like how I like it. Like, but at least it's there. The main like melodies and stuff. So we finally got the theme back, guys. Like this could be better than a 1 out of 10 on a full moon Puppet Master scale. I doubt it highly, but it could be. And wow, the director actually kept his name attached to this as director this time. So maybe that's a good sign. Probably not, but it was good seeing his actual name there instead of some made-up name, and the woman's name he used at one time, Victoria something. So at least we got his real name here attached as director. I'm assuming this is the same kid, Danny, because it has the trunk, the puppet trunk. Yeah, the puppet trunk. That works, I guess, right? It's a trunk that the puppets carried in, so puppet trunk. That works. He's with his mom or girlfriend, I don't know who this is yet. And she says, like, you look like you haven't been eating the 3 months he's been gone. Not been eating. This guy looks like he's dead. Like, he is so pale, this character, for some reason. I don't know if it's they actually wanted him to look pale like this, or if that's just how the actor looks. But he looks like he needs, like, an IV in a hospital, like, stat. Like... Like, we need to get him saved, or he's going to die before this movie ends. Like, that's how he looks. Like, he really looks dead. So, in the last one, we had the zombie mummies in their terrible disguise, and now we have a character who just looks like he's dead already. Yeah, it's his mom, and he has his brother, too. And then they just start talking about the war, and the mom's like, let's change the subject, not talk about the war. And then they're like, no, the war's important, we must talk about the war. And that's when I tune out. So, well, whatever happens after this conversation is what I'll comment on next, because I don't care about any of that part of the story. So Danny, like, really wants to go to war, but he's a cripple. something's wrong with his leg. I don't know. He's sitting at the table the whole time, so I don't know exactly what. But he's a cripple, and he says that he should be overseas or wherever shooting at the Krauts in the war. His words. So he really wants to go to war, but apparently probably something's going to happen that's even more fantastical than that, like moving puppets. Mwah, mwah. Also, they live in Chinatown. I don't know if that's important to the plot or anything, but they mention it. So there you go. Hell yeah, guys. If you're excited for the holidays because you were thinking about buying a home for the first time, you want to use Webster Bank because their liaison officers, they will take care of you. They will make sure that you take so much pride in your first home. So just in case you were thinking of buying a house for the holidays, there you go. These are the ads that make no sense to me. It's a car commercial. And the whole commercial is this couple and they bring home a sheep. And they're bathing the sheep, and they're walking with the sheep, and all this shit. And then it says, like, life's better when you break free of the herd. And it's like Honda or whatever the hell company it was. Those commercials are just so hilariously stupid. And I think that's the marketing angle, is that they want you to remember how stupid that commercial is. So as soon as you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that's a commercial with the sheep and stuff. And then you recognize the brand. Like, that's the whole idea behind commercials like that. But, oh, that was funny. I was like, what the hell is this even about? And then it's just a car commercial. Okay, sheep sells cars. And yes, I have full faith that this movie is going to be absolutely terrible, like the last few. That I felt the need to plug 2 commercials there. Because, trust me, have faith in me, this movie is not going to be good. Alright, so these 2 guys, henchmen, what have you, are looking for some person, Tomasi, and they knock on a Japanese place and a geisha comes out and starts talking to them and takes them on a tour of her place. Like, so I don't know if this has to do with them earlier saying they want to get at a little Chinatown that they're in, but if that is the point, it's Japanese. It's a geisha. So why would that be in Chinatown? So I don't know if that's where they're going with it. If it is, that's incredibly stupid. If not, we have Japanese geishas now in the series. Like, this is another addition that we needed, like, badly. Alright, and then like 2 ninjas show up behind her. I'm not making this shit up, guys, I swear. And she's like, I would advise you against using your weapons to the henchmen. They have guns. The 2 people behind her, the ninja samurai warriors, whatever, they just have big-ass samurai swords. You got like a 9 out of 10 chance, 90% chance that you are going to shoot those 2 dead before they can get near you. So I don't know why they even listen to the conversation afterwards, because they could have just killed them. But Tomasi is some like fascist sympathizer, and he was an American traitor, and they're looking for him for some reason. Yeah, did I mention the henchmen are German? If not, they're German. So them and this geisha woman, they want to make America bleed. That's how the geisha said it. So I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah, so they're in Chinatown. And she says it like it's a great plan. She's like, it's kind of racist too. She's like, alright, yeah, like we're Japanese hidden in the heart of Chinatown. No one would suspect Japanese to be there. Besides, Americans can't tell the difference between any of us anyway. This is word for word almost verbatim what she said. So, none of us can tell the difference between a Japanese geisha and some other part of Chinatown. That they're Chinese and that the geisha's Japanese. Alright, like, let's go with it. And then we have Danny looking at the puppets and notices the hole on their back, which on Tunneler, it's like a big ass like port almost. Like it looks like something like, if you're a musician, like a guitar cable or something like that would plug into the port in the back of his head. So that's new. And apparently Danny has some girlfriend named Beth, and he was late again to meet her because he was so obsessed with the puppets and stuff. So literally crawling along here a half hour into this movie plot-wise, because so far all that we've seen is Danny loves World War II and wants to fight, but he can't because he's disabled. Heck if I know how, because he's walking fine all over the place. And he has a girlfriend named Beth, and he found the puppets after Toulon killed himself. That's it. That should be like your first 10 minutes of a movie. We're a half hour in of barely an hour and 20-minute movie. So, yeah, see, I'm right. Like, this is going to be awful. And it is already, but it's going to get worse. And then some guy, I guess it's Beth's boss, starts giving Danny shit that he should be over, fighting in the war and not playing with puppets. And he says, I would, but my leg's messed up. And all of this I do not care about. Like, this is where differing opinions happen, like usual here. I wouldn't go fight for this country if you paid me all the money in the world. I wouldn't fight for any part of this planet if you paid me all the money in the world. This cesspool of shit that we live in, with all the terrible things that keep happening over and over and over again, never looks like it's getting better. I'm going to go fight for this? Nah, I'm good. I'll just watch it play out and and make bets on the whole thing. Is the humanity going to crumble, or will we flourish for another 50 years at best? Good bets to be had, some money to be made that you could spend ahead of time before this whole world just implodes on itself. Again, opinions. I wouldn't go fight for this country, this world, for any reason. I will sit back and watch it all play out hilariously, because it inevitably will be hilarious when it ends. But obviously, thank you to anybody who has served this country. You did something that the smarter ones did not want to do. So, and there goes 2 or 3 subscribers right there who have any military background. So Danny finds the serum, and he starts injecting the puppets with them. So that's how he's getting them back to life here. Because that does kind of answer how they were all back to life after Toulon killed himself in the first movie, for the events of the first movie that happened a little later. Still doesn't explain how Blade was running around and stuff to warn Toulon about the Nazis coming to kill him before he shot his own head off. So we still don't have an answer to that. Maybe Toulon was shooting him up with this chemical? That's the only thing you can assume, because this is taking place right after Toulon killed himself, and the serum is here. Like, we didn't hear about the serum in the first movie. Or the second, if I recall correctly. The third one, I think, is when it came to play. So that was a lingering question, but now it kind of explains a decent amount of it. Not all of it by any damn means, but enough that you can be all right, that's what happened. So he limps a little bit. That's it. Like, that's the only thing wrong with his leg, is that he has a slight limp when he walks. They can take him still, throw his ass in a tank, have him just do that, shoot at people. He could still join the war. Like, it's not like he's disabled that bad that he can't do anything working for the military. Like, he absolutely could have. So yeah, he is full of shit. Like, he just wants to play with his puppets. Oh, what's in the bag? What's in the bag? No, I'm not 100%. But I'm pretty sure they just showed that Japanese bitch, the geisha's place from the outside in little Chinatown here. But the markings are Japanese. Like, so it doesn't really hide them at all. Like, unless I'm wrong, and that is Chinese symbols and shit, but it does look very Japanese compared to Chinese. Like, you could tell from the 2 places next to it that, like, it doesn't look like the same language. So, I don't know. But it seems like their plan of hiding in plain sight in Chinatown as Japanese people. And I can't believe this is even sentences coming out of my mouth. That this is a plot to a movie that I'm watching right now. Like, I don't even have anything else to say about it. I got that sheep commercial again. It's absolutely hysterical. And if you're looking for a new streaming, platform, try the name that I totally forgot, and I'm not going to be able to tell you, so never mind. Sling TV. Go with Sling TV. Try them out if you need a new streaming service, because they're advertising. They look hungry. So the 2 German people and the geisha and the Japanese ninjas have this scheme, and I couldn't even tell you what it is, honestly. Like, I don't know what their plan is here, or what it has to do with anything, like to do with Toulon or anything. they're looking at a map and saying like this is the storage bay, this is the loading dock, and like this is a storage room that's locked all the time. So they can't be talking about the puppets. So heck if I know what the hell they're thinking or what their plan is. And then Danny shows up, who just jumped onto a dumpster to spy on them, and then got off the dumpster, off of it. So again, he can go into war. He just doesn't want to, as much as he says that he does. And he just unleashes Blade and like another puppet or two to go try to find out more information or something. This is so bad. This is so terrible, this movie. All right, so the plan is they're trying to cripple the U.S. war efforts in the war here by like blowing up a factory or some shit that has all their new bombs. That's the plan for them. So you might as well not even have any of this in this movie or in this series at all. What does this have to do with anything? Nothing at all. So why even write any of this? But then Blade attacks like two of them, and that's what I was saying like moments before it happened. Why don't the puppets just kill all of these people right now? Kill the two Nazis, kill the geisha and the two ninjas. The ninjas might be a little harder and stuff for the puppets to track down and kill them. They'd probably be spinning around a lot like they do, but why not just do that? He just stabbed one of the Nazis' Blade and then like ran off. So the plan is still on for 2 days from where they are right now. They're going to blow up this factory and all the U.S. bombs and stuff inside of it so that they have a heads up in the war. Okay. Here's something I noticed in so many movies I don't think I've ever talked about on here. You ever notice that anytime someone sits at a desk, it's the same exact green light, like the desk light? It's like it has a green top, and then it's just a single light that shines down. You pull the cord. It is in so many movies. Whenever someone goes to a desk, it's that same goddamn green top light. Like, every single movie. Like, you see it all over the place. What does this have to do with the movie? What does the whole plan with the geisha and the Nazis have to do with this Puppet Master series? So, even Steven. And apparently this plant they're going to blow up, it's where Beth, Danny's girlfriend, works. So that's how it ties in. Still, none of this should be here in any way. And Danny's brother Don is shipping out in a day or two. So, good for him, I guess. Alright, so Danny gets to still, serve his country by stopping the Japanese and the Nazis from blowing up the Beth's power plant that she works at. So that's how it all ties together. Is this guy that has barely a limp, who can't go into the military, stays behind so he can stop the Nazis working with the Japanese geisha. Do you hear how this sounds right now? Like, this is the movie I'm watching. Like, this is the story that they went with for this movie. So Danny's telling their whole plan about blowing up the plant to Beth. And he said, I heard everything they said. But when she asked, like, when are they going to do this? He says, in a few days. It's 2 days. Like, a few could be, like, 2 and over. 2, 3 days, maybe 4 days. You'd think 2 days would be the most crucial information in order to stop this plan from happening. Not just, it's in a few days. We got plenty of time. No, it's in 2 days. So if you don't stop it before 2 days passes, it's going to explode. So if he waits for day 3, then he's going to just have to suck it up and go into the military because he didn't do shit to help them here. Yeah, no, I was wrong. I'm not going back and watching the Hellraiser movies. I don't like this. I don't like pain. This is absolutely dreadful, this movie. Like, it's an amazing feat that for the last 3-4 movies that they can just keep getting worse and worse. Like, that is impressive. I'll give them that. That they haven't had one in like the last 4 or 5 movies that's just like a standout one. Like, oh, that one's great. The only one they do have is, I already covered it on the Midnight Society with Pat the Cat when we watched Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. That was technically the last movie with Puppet Master before this movie came out. So that, I guess, could be considered the higher point there. But just strictly Puppet Master, the last 4 movies at least have just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. It's so bad. All right, so a Nazi starts hitting on a Japanese geisha. Sounds like the beginning of a terrible joke, and it is in a way. He's saying like, all right, we got to go find the kid and his puppets right away, and like we can't take any chances for this plan to go wrong. Then the head Nazi guy, Maximilian, she calls him. I guess that's his name. And her name is Ozu. Just in case you were going to die without that information by the time the video ended. Ozu is her name. And he starts like hitting on her, saying like, maybe there's something else we can do like to bring our partnership closer. And she just pulls a fucking knife on him. And she's like, do not mistake me for like a Western harlot or like any of your German whores. Do you understand? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. Like, Ozu can, she's intimidating. She can kick some ass, some Nazi ass. And then just having to see Nazis go, Heil Hitler, and then whatever the hell the response was from the other one. And, you know, it's very easy with this channel. Like, you can just take that one little clip of me saying, Hi, Hitler. And just, that's it. That's the video. And then just, everyone's going to think I'm a Hitler fucking lover. Ad break. So, instead of commercial, just clarify, I hate Hitler. I'm not down with Hitler. But, what about the one good thing that Hitler did? Alright? That little stupid fucking mustache. You never see it anywhere now. You know why? Because as soon as someone makes this unconscious decision to get a mustache like that, the first thing that their best friend or closest person to them is going to say is, are you serious? You look like Hitler. Like, you get rid of that mustache. So we don't have to look at anyone with that mustache again. Ever since Hitler was a thing. Because no one wants to look like that disgusting piece of shit. So, if anything, that's the one positive we got from him. Is that we never have to see that terrible mustache on anybody ever again. Because they'll just be compared to Hitler. Then we gotta, like, watch the mom and Beth prepare the going away party for the brother in real time. For some reason, then the Nazi shows up and pulls a gun on the mother. Alright. This geisha has very long nails. So the Nazis killed the mom and shot the brother, Don, and he's sitting there dying, and then, I'm not even listening right now, but he's having his last dying breath conversation with his brother, saying, do the right thing, fight for the country, whatever the fuck he's saying. And then they took Beth as a hostage to flush him out. Like, I don't know why they just don't wait. Why they couldn't just wait here for him to come home, then just pull guns on him and be like, all right, you're coming with us, grab your puppets. I don't know. So, but, oh, this is so bad. And I just checked. There's like 20 minutes left in this movie. Like, something has to happen differently. Like, this is so bad. This is the closest I've been coming to not being able to sit through a whole movie. Except for that clip show one last, because there's no way I was watching clips from all the last terrible ones. But, oh, this is so bad. Like, it has to move. It has to do something. The puppets need to do something. They gotta attack and kill somebody. Like, something, anything has to happen here in the last 20 minutes. Or this is just, like, I wasted an hour and 20 minutes of my life. Like, badly. So, alright, Danny takes, like we saw in the last movie, how Toulon put all his friends that died into the puppets. Same type of thing here, but he's using the serum instead of that stupid ring. And he takes like a little bit of blood from his brother and puts it into some puppet who's a ninja, who we've never seen before. Have no clue that this puppet ever existed in any way, shape, or form. So now, and he makes a comment like, as long as you're alright living inside a Jap. Like, so his brother is now alive in form of a ninja puppet that we've never seen before. And we have no name for it. Unless he just calls him like Ninja Dom. Don. Yes. But it's insane, all of this. Come on, really? This is what they wrote for this movie? Alright. So then, his brother, the ninja puppet, he hands him a ninja star, and the puppet picks up the ninja star and throws it across the room, like, perfectly, and, like, it sticks into a wall. Now, I'm under the understanding that once you take the person who dies and put them into the puppet, wouldn't they just have all their memories and skills? Like you take this guy, Don, the brother, and you put him in a ninja puppet, he automatically like knows everything about being a ninja. Like he automatically knows and is proficient at throwing ninja stars because he's in a Japanese puppet. Because I don't know if he had any of that knowledge before that. So I don't know how that works now. Like, do they keep just their memories and skills and everything about themselves, but they're in the puppets, so they can't talk, they can't communicate, but they can think and remember stuff? Or do they adopt just random ass skills from whatever puppet they're put into? Like, I'm sure Ilsa, the wife, I'm sure she didn't, unless Toulon was into some kinky shit, didn't spit leeches out onto him before she got died and turned into a puppet. So I'm guessing that's just what happens. You put someone's soul into a puppet, and they're just instantly amazing at whatever that puppet does. Whoever six shooter was before he died must have been amazing at quick draws and stuff like that, and just a dead ass accurate at shooting guns. Or not. He had none of that knowledge, and he was put in six shooter, and then all of a sudden he became like that. I don't know. That's something that'll never be answered, but it's something I don't even really want to think about. But God, there's nothing else going on in this movie. All right, this is getting so stupid. So they took Beth hostage, right? And they're at the Japanese geisha's place, and Leech Woman and Danny are above them, like where this guy's eating his sushi dinner, like Japanese ninjas never order McDonald's or some shit. It's always sushi that they eat every day. And she just spits the leech down into his food when he's not at the table. He comes back to the table, he eats his California roll, and then he just picks up the leech slug and puts it in his mouth. And he just dies. Like, come on, man. This guy, this Japanese dude, we're led to believe he eats sushi a hell of a lot because we caught him on one of those days. So it's an often had dinner for him. He can't tell the difference between a California roll and a sluggy leech thing. Come on, man. This is so insanely stupid. Finally, something happens. We see the Japanese guy get murdered. I mean, that sounded bad. We see one of these Japanese guys in the movie, the ninjas, the other one. He gets like knocked down by Pinhead, and then Tunneler comes running and tunnels into the top of his head, and we get some blood and shit like shed over his face, and it looks all right. Like at least there's something that happened here. Like that alone just took this above Retro Puppet Master, because they were just stabbing those mummy things and then just dust flying out of them. So at least there's one positive that I could pull out of this. Got acne? Go proactive. And yes, sheep commercial on every ad break on Tubi watching this movie. Might be the best thing and funniest thing about this whole movie. Oh, here comes Ninja Puppet to the rescue. The Nazi, not the main one, but the one watching the girlfriend. Ninja Puppet, boom, right in the eye. Dead aim. And now they can save the girlfriend here. So Danny and the girlfriend, I forget her name. Do you expect me to remember it? Run into the geisha, Ozu. I remembered hers for some reason. It's a unique one. Runs into her, and then the brother Ninja Puppet throws like a ninja star that, like, I don't know, grazes her cheek or some shit, and she pulls out her samurai sword and she stabs the ninja puppet and it falls back, and they're like, no. Dude, I can't make this shit up. Like, this is the movie. Like, this all really happened. This is based on true events of me watching this. This is what we got with this next installment in Puppet Master. I don't know. So now the geisha is fighting with the two Americans. Then it seems like they get the upper hand, and Blade has the dynamite that they're gonna blow this place up with, and he's holding it and stuff, and the timer's ticking down, and then they're talking about kamikaze pilots for some reason, and how terrible they are, and that she should blow up with the place too if she wants it so bad. It's so bad. The dialogue is atrocious in this. And then the Nazi main guy shows up like in full Nazi attire, like standard German uniform, and takes the dynamite away from Blade. And then he's like, maybe not. I'm like, haha, this is not gonna happen. And like it really feels like something out of a comic book. Like it really does. But it's just not entertaining, like at all. Like it's not good. Like like it's just not good at all. So then the main German Nazi is just yelling at Danny and like making him feel weak and saying that, oh, the Nazis are the best and blah blah blah, and you're a cripple, and again, he's not crippled. He has a fucking limp. He could do something if he wanted. Then Ninja Puppet Brother happens to pick up a 6 foot long samurai sword and stab the Nazi through the chest, like through the back and out the chest. So he's dead. And right behind him was Ozu the geisha. And she didn't see anything. She didn't say shit that this puppet was running, charging towards this guy with a samurai sword. She didn't see any of that? I think she might have, and she just wanted this guy out of the picture. Alright, then the geisha disappears with the puppets, except for Pinhead, Ninja Boy, and Blade. And that's it. That's the end of the movie. Like really, that's it. The guy just says like, if it's a war that Jap wants, then we're gonna bring more to her. Credits. So awful, 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 awful. Like all the way around to its core. This movie is so bad. At this point, they feel like fan films, like fan-made films, but like terribly made fan filmed. Screw you. Fan-made films. They're just like terrible ones. Like, I guarantee you, I could write a better script than this. Guaranteed. Like in like less than a week. Not even. Give me like a few hours. I'll have something better than this. And if me and one of you and in our YouTube community put our heads together, dude, we can knock out like 5 of these movies within like a year. And they would be better than these movies. Like, oh, this is so bad. Wherever you're from, I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or night. I will be watching Wes Craven's New Nightmare later to finally close the book on that before the awful remake, which I'm not worried about until the new year, because I'm going to have something for the first week to like finish up anything in like franchises I didn't finish in the last few months for their theme. So it'll be like a holiday leftover week. And I'll go through, I think I have a few Halloweens left, Rob Zombies and stuff, and 2018 and Kills. Not touching ends, I've said enough on that. And the Phantasm series, and like maybe, I think I have an Argento film or two I got to do. So it'll be like a nice little leftover from the holidays for the first week in January. I do have a theme for that already, so we're good with that. And it's not a long franchise. I mean, it is, but it's not like I can knock it out in a weekend. So this is just terrible. Like in every way, shape, and form. Like in every way imaginable. Just a terrible movie. I'm not looking forward to the next one because I'm guessing it just takes off right from here. And that these whole Axis ones, Axis Rising, I think is the next one, the 10th one. Like Axis Rising, the 10th Puppet Master coming your way. Oh God, I cannot wait for that. Probably won't do another one of these until after the holidays. Like, I can't do it. Like, I really can't. It's getting to that point that it's like, I can't watch these. Like, they're that bad. So, I'll talk to you guys later. This is just terrible.